Hello everyone, welcome back to a brand new episode of Trash Talk. I'm here with a very, very, very special guest. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Oh, sure. Kumo.
And
Make videos.
diving straight into it. That's every guest, right? I do want to start with the start of your channel. I know like this episode is going to be a bit of different because there's some stuff that we're going to talk about and some more serious stuff and some stuff that you want to talk about. But we'll start and like do the normal bit of trash talk. With your beginnings on YouTube and like what got you into doing YouTube and what did you do when you started YouTube?
That's a loaded question. I started off just making really low quality, emphasis on low quality Rainbow Six highlights clips.
Hmm.
Kind of just compilations and then montages, and I got like my first 40 subs off of that, and I was like, you know what? I don't like this, and I'm bad at this, so I'm gonna make commentary videos.
Hmm.
So I started making just really what you'd expect from someone making commentary videos on their phone, not knowing shit how to like crack anything. I was
Yeah.
using a Xbox microphone, so my mic quality was like a ham radio. But I always knew what I was talking about, and I knew how to argue. So I guess I did okay. That got me up to like 300 subs. Just that setup alone.
Hmm. And like after like that and like just having like maybe a mediocre mic, right? I've seen some of your original videos like with the shitter mic.
Oh god.
Um, yeah. There's a couple of saved all around the place. And of course, like moving on forward, you made a video about a year ago called "Returning to the Crime Scene."
Hmm.
And then onwards, you kept uploading and like kept coming back. And with you, I feel like, of course, you've made videos like the Common Rider video and stuff, and made like stuff with Beast and other bits. If you don't know who Beast is, Lieutenant Beast, that's YouTube Shorts content right now. But I feel like for you, a lot of what people know you for, unfortunately, probably not for the best, but a lot of people know you for controversy or drama that you've been involved in, right? Like, I feel like a lot of commentators are known for controversies or certain set of drama. But for you, I guess that is like a big thing you're known for, right? Is dramas and stuff you've been involved in. Before I bring up some stuff like in drama related stuff that I want to talk about, is there any controversies, maybe dramas or stuff you've had with people that you'd like to maybe talk about?
I think I'll let you do the questions and I'll answer them as you
Hmm.
hand them
No, no,
out. I
100%.
don't. Yeah, I don't intend to try and take the lead here. It's your podcast.
Yeah, that's all good, man. Usually I just like to offer just in case there's anything that like the
Yeah, no
guest might
problem.
want to talk about. But no, 100%. I do want to like speak about. I know that unfortunately that you did have to do a podcast with No Michelle for 5 hours and drone on a bit about this.
Oh boy.
But I do want to ask, and like I know this is like a probably a pretty sensitive question, something that I think you're known for, and that is that the whole cutting scenario thing. I don't want you to go like I don't want to like keep you here for like 50 minutes. Sorry,
Hmm.
Edwin, to talking about this for like an hour or so. But just a
Yeah, I
brief
don't intend to.
overview or the best in detail that you can give in just like a sense where you don't miss things out. Where what
Okay.
happened with that scenario for maybe people that aren't familiar with it and don't know?
Um. Well, I guess to like sum it up,
Hmm.
I met this girl. We had this like really unhealthy parasocial relationship.
Yeah.
We were both like interested in each other. I was gonna go out to Norway, and we were gonna meet up. I don't think I need to entail what we were gonna do when we met up. She was a month
Yeah.
older than me. Um, Little did I know she was like. Well, I knew she was like. She struggled with like depression. I mean, who
Hmm.
doesn't? And that she at one point was suicidal. I was like, oh, that's kind of relatable. Um, and so I spent a lot of time just talking to her and hanging out with her. And
Yeah.
eventually, she added me to a group chat where her entire goal was to desensitize me to self harm and suicide and all kinds of shit. Um,
Hmm.
I've I've put out these receipts publicly. I've
Yeah.
offered to show people the entire group chat or even add them to it so they could see everything.
Hmm.
Just really deranged shit from sending like live leak videos to literally in chat victim blaming Bianca. What's her name? Bianca Devins. I think that was her
Yeah.
name.
Hmm.
You know who Bianca Devins is?
I know the name. Yes, I know the name.
Yeah.
Familiar.
Yeah, the chick who got her throat sliced by one of her orbiters.
Hmm.
Yeah, they would victim blame her. They would send me gore, and they would enable each other to self harm pretty much all the time. Um, and my entire mindset at the time was, you know, I know the type of people these people are. No matter what I fucking tell them, they're not gonna listen to me. So I'm just like, whatever. I'm interested in this chick. I can look past it if all she's doing is self harming. And then I eventually got roped into it. Um, there was a clip that was taken out of context in that situation where uh the person recording didn't have their mic input set up, so you couldn't hear them saying me. And later on when I went to go on to explain this situation, people took this as like, oh, he lied about the situation because this wasn't found in the already established to be out of context recording. Um, so you can't hear practically half the shit that's going on in the call,
Yeah.
and a lot of what I said got misconstrued. But essentially, what would happen was she would keep asking, "What should I cut? What should I cut? What should I cut? What should I cut?" Until
Hmm.
I gave the answer. I don't think anyone noticed that or wanted to acknowledge that. And I just suggested my name. I didn't even come up with the fucking idea of self harm.
Hmm.
I didn't tell her. I didn't like tell her, like command her to fucking do it. I didn't ask her to do it. She just said, "What should I cut? What should I cut?" And I gave the suggestion. I explained in my initial video where I got really upset and emotional that while it wasn't an excuse, that like my intentions weren't malicious and they weren't like sadistic.
Yeah. And real
Um,
quick, to sorry to interject, I do have a question. Like, can you
mhm.
see why people still are like maybe against that, regardless if they believe the other stuff or whatever has gone on? Can you see why people
But
might be against that, like in that bit, like the stuff you've just said, in the sense of like I know you said it isn't an excuse and stuff, but can you see why people might go, right, then like you still said your name and said stuff, like can you see that reasoning? Like, is that
I
something that you can understand?
it's I don't know what that sounds like an interesting question. I understand that, like generally speaking, nobody likes self harm, and self harm makes everyone squeamish. It makes me it well, not anymore since I eventually started doing it for like self loathing reasons. But like I was squeamish at the time, and I would be lying to you if I said I wasn't squeamish at the time of her doing it and actually taking my like listening to me and cutting my name. Like my
Mm.
voice was I was audibly voice cracking the entire time. Um,
And is there a reason that you chose your name in particular out of like everything that like you said you could have said, right?
she knew me longer. She knew me better than all the other guys, and we already had history, and we were gonna be meeting up anyway. It wasn't like
Hmm.
in my head, it was like whatever. I'd rather it be me than some random douchebag, especially if like I'm gonna be meeting up with her, hooking up with her, or if I'm even gonna be having a relationship with her.
Hmm.
I'd rather it just be me. And that my name was like 4 letters. Yeah, there was a dude with like 3 letters at the time, but it's like whatever. 4 letters is fine enough.
Is there a reason why you
That's one
didn't
of the
go with
shortest
the
names.
like? Is there a reason you didn't go for the three letter? Because I know that is like a genuine like question that a lot of
No,
people have
I
when it
said at the
comes up.
time I
Whereas,
thought my name I said at the time I thought my name was one of the shortest. I said one of the shortest. I've
hmm,
always said one of the shortest, and they were like, "You said it was the shortest." I said
yeah,
no, one of the shortest.
and,
The
and
other one beat me by one letter.
and
So
as a question for that, is there like I know you said that like you knew her and you're gonna meet up with her and that's why, right? But
yeah,
is that genuinely the reason why you didn't choose like like the guy that had the shorter name? Were you not like thinking about that at the time? Were you more focused on like giving that answer?
it was just no. It wasn't like, oh, me. I want to feel special. It was just like I
Yeah.
know her, she knows me. We're probably gonna be meeting up and hooking up anyway.
Hmm.
We have a connection. She met these assholes today. They're very unhinged, like 4chan users. I didn't think she was like that. I thought she was just being ridiculous, and the whole thing was just her trying to desensitize me because she was kind of like she wasn't like her red flags, like her major red flags, didn't show up until after this clip was taken, and she used it to blackmail me. But um, like the whole like do my name wasn't like I don't know. People like to misconstrue it. They like take nothing. They'll take like what little they actually have available, and they'll like make a whole head canon out of it. And I just think
Hmm.
it's ridiculous. Um, at the end of the day, yeah, the guy's name might have been 3 letters, but it's like she met him that day. I was gonna end up going. I The plan was I was gonna go fly out to her country within like that month and go fuck her and maybe date her, depending on like how it went. And it was like whatever. I'm not gonna like ignore her as she's repetitively asking, what should I cut? What should I cut? And then only like confirming it when I say something, despite the other
Yeah.
two saying, yeah, cut my name
Hmm.
at the same time. It was like, well, I'm not gonna go fuck her, and she has like someone else's name carved in her anyway.
Yeah, yeah, and like the
That would just be
one.
fucking weird,
Mhm.
especially if I'm gonna date her.
Sorry. Yeah, yeah, no, I get that, and like I guess, like I feel like there's always the people that are gonna be strongly against that, and like personally, like I wouldn't have done what you did, but I can
It's not really
understand the
their fucking
reasoning.
business, though.
No, I get that,
It
I
wasn't
100%
even
get
meant to
that,
be their business.
but like like for me personally, like I know just this is just my thought of just hearing what you've said, right? Like
Hmm.
I know for you it was a heat of the moment thing sort of thing as well, right? Is she's like
Yeah.
constantly saying stuff and you've said it, right? I don't think, did you agree what you did looking back, or do you think you could have done something
Dude,
different with that?
I've I've lost all fucking remorse just due to like the constant like fucking blackballing and harassment over the situation
Hmm.
for the past
Like,
year. So I mean, no, I'm not like remorseful anymore, but I expressed like sincere fucking remorse even after it like even like shortly after it happened, like before it even became public
yeah.
discourse. So like I became like fucking
Hmm.
self-loathing and started self-harming myself over that whole thing because I felt guilty. And then over time, as I kept getting moral fagged and lambasted by people who literally had no horse in the race, it wasn't any of their business. I just didn't feel bad anymore. Especially after like I guess you could say like my Stockholm syndrome wore off and I didn't really care about her anymore. I
Yeah.
especially didn't really have any remorse for it. Just
Yeah.
because
But like,
like
mhm.
everything got put into perspective for me. Sorry.
Yeah, that's all good. Could you see why people might say that that's like but like, and I know you like your whole thing is like, well, there's no one's business, right? Like it wasn't meant to be a like a public situation or something that was like broadcast to the whole world, right? But can you see why
Yeah.
some people might view that as a bad take, like a bad view of the situation? That I know you might not have any remorse for like the girl herself, right? Or all of that. But like the
It's
fact that
just not,
you
and I mean,
like,
not anymore. Not anymore. Like after
hmm,
everything's said and done, after all like the public
hmm,
lambasting and shit and the constant harassment, and well, I think you've asked me this question twice now. I can understand the moral position that practically I hope everyone has that, you know, self harm is bad.
yeah,
Um, at the same time, it's just like again, it's none of their fucking business. I don't really care if they don't like it. I don't care what their opinions are on it. What I do care about is maybe stop fucking harassing me about it for like a year. It's been a fucking year, and it's been constant. Someone's always got to come in thinking they're like they're so clever, they're so like original or unique, or thinking it's funny.
yeah.
Be like, hey, did you guys know that this guy did this? And it's like, bro, would you fuck off? Like, you know how long it's been? You know this shit isn't like any of your business. Oh fuck.
I guess the issue with that, it's fun, it's fun. I guess the issue with that, right, is that unfortunately is the thing that a lot of people know you for, right? Unfortunately, it is what a lot of people will, if the name Kumo comes up in commentary, right, a lot of people will think of that situation, right? So a lot of people do bring it up, right? I know if
Yeah.
like people around me, if they bring up the name Kumo, it's always napkin, it's always cutting, right? It's always that line of reasoning and stuff.
I
And
mean,
one thing that sorry, yeah, go ahead.
I feel like the most important thing that should be mentioned about the whole like how people even know me for this is that a pedophile used it to deflect. So
uh, One question that I personally have myself that I always want to know the answer to, and you've probably asked like answered this before, and I just haven't come across it. But I know some other people
Mhm.
might want to know the question. This for people that are watching and maybe interested in this. There was a screenshot that went around with you or allegedly you with your banner, the name cut into the girl's like leg. Is
Yeah.
that is that a true screenshot? Just before we like get into anything else, is that like
That
a
was
genuine?
explained so fucking long ago. She told me to put it on my
Hmm.
banner. It was like she had if you look at the clip that everyone was spreading around on Twitter, she had someone else who did it who like cut her name and she put it on her banner.
Is there a reason you followed through and listened to her and did that? Like, what was the
Yeah, I mean,
reasoning why you did that?
I was being fucking blackmailed and extorted for fucking like nudes and e-sex, like fucking phone sex and shit.
Hmm.
Like, she was constantly like, what's the phrase? Like lording it over my head. That fucking
Yeah,
clip.
yeah.
She was saying she was gonna like spread it. She was gonna go send it to a large content creator. Um, the whole like, who do you think they're gonna believe? Like, I have more people. I have people in the call that'll say what I want them to say. All this shit. She had my docs info
Hmm.
for reasons I don't want to disclose. Um, like I was in a position where it was like you could say I had control, but at the same time, it's like that's a bit of a reach because if I didn't do what she said, she made it abundantly fucking clear that, she was going to get her way one way or another.
And like, I guess with that, can you again like a similar question that I asked with the other stuff? But can you see people's like critique of that? I know that you said that she had like docs info, and you don't want to go into that, or the reason why she has it at least. And like, she was like trying to hold stuff over your head and stuff. But can you see why people would still critique that you like put that as your banner? Like, I don't know how long you did have it as your
I
banner,
already know why
but
people would do it is because there was pre-existing
sorry.
animosity. Yeah,
Hmm.
it had nothing to do with like moral values. It had to do with like pre-existing animosity for people I had criticized in the past or people that I had I had trolled in the past. And when I say trolling, I mean like light trolling, like fucking
Yeah.
like just saying something very like silly but like like specific that I knew would set someone off. Or
Hmm.
just like being an asshole. Like I think Hopeless Peach's thing was she was a massive cunt, and respectably, I would match her energy and be just as massive of a cunt back. It was all really
Yeah.
petty melodrama, and I didn't really think it was that deep. But the moment she hears about the whole self harm thing, she's like, "Ooh, I'm gonna wait for my time to shine on this one. I need to turn this into a big spectacle." Brion, someone that I was exposing for admittingly trying to groom a girl for information, apparently, and then lying about it, and then doctoring a screenshot about me in retaliation and claiming that I was making shit up about him and that I was doctoring screenshots when he would go on to admit that everything that was being shown was real. The constant like white knighting from people from social climbers who just wanted who wanted shout outs from Brion, just the constant like people trying to fuck the case and call me crazy. Um, Brion, obviously, he saw this come to light from Hopeless Peaches badgering me, and uh, at one point my friends made memes, so it did like there was a rumor circulating at one point in like January, and I think that's how
Hmm.
he caught wind of it. But you'll notice how like everybody everybody in that scenario who turned it into a public spectacle, I had made fun of in the past. I made fun of Doc on the radio in the past. I think it was on a live stream. I made fun of
Yeah.
fucking Toastify in the past, very lightly. Um, I think on Twitter actually, I made fun of Toastify before. Um, I've made fun of so many people, and like when the self harm shit got aired out, is like immediately they all come out of the fucking woodworks and they're like, "Ha ha ha! Ha, you're such a shitty person." So it's just such a cesspool. I honestly don't like when it's just people that I've like I've made fun of in the past or I've criticized in the past that are like trying to be the that are like the first ones to try and like use it against me. It's not something that I feel I need to take seriously, like in terms of like how people view me. What I do take
Hmm.
seriously is how they feel the need to go on for almost a fucking year, ranting about me and raving about me, and bringing that fucking self harm shit up about me unprovoked for no fucking reason. Talking about shit that has hardly anything to do with me, and then bringing me up and being like, "Yeah, that guy who the self harm thing." Is like, what relevance did I have to what you're just talking about? So to answer your question, I understand that people think a certain way about me, because at the end of the day, let's be
Yeah.
real here, none of these commentators actually believe any of the shit they say. They don't stand for any of it. I understand why they hold their views and why they say what they say. But I don't personally believe it holds any weight.
No, I get that. I think just responding to that. What my whole view on it is, and at the time, I've never spoke to you, and I hadn't spoken to Doc on the radio or Toastify or any of them people. Um, my whole view on it is like I understand what you say and your reasonings behind a lot of what you did and how you responded. But like I know you said a lot of like commentators just say things and they like don't really like believe a lot of the things they say. But I don't agree with the situation. I can never agree with it, and I think that like from what you've said, you realize why people hold those views and like why people looking in that weren't really involved in like bringing it to light or being like there will like maybe have those more critical views on you for what you did. And
Although
I
it's not like
think,
I really did anything. It wasn't like I initiated it. It's not like I solicited the whole thing. I just gave a suggestion. That it's constantly misrepresented as I asked a girl, I made a girl, I told a girl. She asked me and I gave a suggestion. Well, she was
mhm,
asking she was asking a group in general, and it was blatantly obvious she was specifically trying to get my approval, and all I did was just enable it. At the end of the day, I explained that I wasn't trying to be malicious, and I explained my motive. And
yeah,
I emphasized that that isn't a justification, and I even expressed my remorse.
yeah.
And that just wasn't fucking good enough, and my words had to be twisted, the whole thing had to be convoluted, and it had to get, uh, what's the phrase? All the other factors that really like changed the narrative drastically
Hmm.
from what's said, had to be downplayed, and then I had to be given not just the least amount of charitability, but just I had to be misrepresented to the maximum over that whole thing because I've criticized or I've dared to criticize or make fun of any of those people. So
I guess what it comes down to is the issue with that is with a lot of these situations, right? A lot of the specifics aren't brought up when conversations are brought up, right? Like I will always hold to my values that I don't agree with that, and I've heard what you've said, and like I will always listen to what you've got to say as a response. I listen to anybody's responses to what they've been accused of or what's going on, right? But I personally can't agree with that, and so just add on to what you said about like it being twisted and stuff. I guess the issue is in commentary and just in general online. Like when someone does something, it is never represented as a full thing, right? Take any small commentary situation. Take even the Noma stuff, for example, right? I'm not comparing these to Nomas, but take the Noma stuff, where
Mhm.
the details aren't fully explained. It's just Noma Shelf is a pedophile, which that isn't true, right? Like like when you start explaining it, the things become more clear. Okay, he's show, he's a weirdo. He's done this. He's done that. He spoke to that 17-year-old. It's weird, right?
Well, I
But
mean,
it's
the,
represented
the
as that's more of a label or more of
I don't think the
a
statement
term.
was too far off with Nomis, though. I concluded at the end of my video that
Hmm.
he either sexually harassed a minor and a subscriber, um, or it was an attempted grooming. It's one or the other. It's either
Even then,
one of the two
there's
evils.
even then there's more like more explanation that's needed, right? To just like instead
Yeah,
of just saying he's a pedophile, right, or he's this, he's that, right, or a label, right? Like a
yeah,
way more explanation is
yeah.
needed, and the same thing with your
Characterization.
case. Yeah, more characterization, more like info is needed to properly explain that, right? And that's the issue. A lot of situations doesn't have that. I think that's the thing here, which like unfortunately, as long as you are online, a lot of people will know you as Kumo. That's the guy, the cutting stuff, right?
I don't
Which
feel it has to be that way. I feel like I can always break away from that because it's like it's small commentary, Samuel, and you guys can have your opinions as much as you want.
Mhm.
But I've spoken to so many I've spoken to like multiple large creators because people have like brought it to them and they were like, "Oh, let's talk about it," and This isn't. They're like, that's like her problem, or they're like, if she did it, if you told her to do it and she went and did it, that's you're not responsible for that. And they're like, and then others are like, why is this being turned into YouTube drama? And it's genuinely outside of like the small commentary sphere. Like large fucking creators don't care. They don't care. This isn't something that like realistically would follow me around if I wasn't stuck in a community or if I wasn't being like um hyper fixated on by a fucking obsessive vindictive community of the
That's
probably
the
one of the
issue
most
though.
dishonest corners of the commentary community.
The issue is you are in that community, right? That's the issue, right? If you break away, you change your name, you do different content or whatever, right? Of course, you're
I
going to
don't
move on
need to
from the label,
rebrand to
right?
do that. I
But
don't
you
need to
know what I
rebrand.
mean,
No.
right? Just as a suggestion, right? Like if you did that,
Yeah.
that label isn't going to follow you around, right? Unless some wild small commentator crosses a
Oh no,
I don't
it'll
know,
even
whatever,
if I
right?
do rebrand, someone vindictive enough
Yeah,
will be like, will come into my, will like come into my new whatever and be like, try to revive it or try to bring it up because these people
yeah.
are fucking like chronically online.
But yeah, like I said, the issue is you are in a community where that will like if you stay in the community, that will always follow you, right? Like if you were in other communities, it would be things that someone might bring up now and again, right? It would be a passover when someone's speaking about the creator, right? But I don't think it would follow you to the extent that it has done because of the community you're in, right? The community holds on to um a lot of what people say, right? And a lot of what people do instead of maybe moving past
Well,
and going right. Maybe that happened in the past or whatever, right? Or whatever. Like, is that something for you that you want to try and move on from? Like, try and get out of like
no,
that being following
it,
you?
it's at the end of the day, they can try to follow me with it, but like I'm going to like see it through and I have stuff in the works. Like it's not gonna follow me at the end of the day.
Hmm.
Like it's if they really decide to be so vindictive that they continue to bring it up and try to follow me with it, I'll make sure they get the attention. I'll make sure it gets the attention they want it to have, and they're not gonna like the outcome. Because generally speaking, fucking people who are in their standards YouTube veterans, people that they would fucking gawk up to,
Yeah.
they don't care. They've been more charitable in my favor whenever like small commentators or like small commentary orbiters will like bring it to large creators and I'll hear about it. They're always in my favor. Because genuinely outside of the small commentary shit, they aren't that unhinged or vindictive. These people are more grounded in reality outside of these like obsessive social climbers who just live to see their 300 shoot up to hopefully 50K one day. And
Hmm.
for some of them, 50K isn't fucking enough. Like Toastify, he still orbits small fucking commentary. It boggles my mind why he isn't trying to climb any higher, and instead he surrounds himself with smaller creators to make his dick feel bigger than it actually is. Um, it's
It,
it's not something I'm really concerned about. If they continue to try, then I'll just let them get the attention they want on it, and it'll be resolved once and for all.
yeah, and just with the comment that you made about Toastify about that he's like surrounds himself with smaller content creators to make his dick feel bigger. Is that what you see like bigger content creators as who like interact with people in the small content community as like people that
Calling
like make
Toastify a bigger content creator it feels like such a
oh
stretch.
a bigger content creator than small commentator,
I
right?
feel like
Like
he's a small content creator who was gifted a large pair like a pair of jeans that are too large for him for Christmas. You know? I don't feel like
yeah.
I feel like Toastify would be the
Hmm.
same fucking Toastify he is today if he was stuck at like 300 subs. Like his numbers mean absolutely nothing based on just the slop he puts out and because just like Turkey Tom or any Turkey Tom clone, no hate to Turkey Tom because I mean I respect the grind, but just like Turkey Tom or Internet Anarchist or Sunny V2, these people make their video essays for clicks. At the end of the day, they don't know a fucking thing they're talking about. I think the very same thing goes for Toastify. He doesn't need to know a fucking thing he's talking about. He just has to put in like mildly consistent editing into a video and bam bam try to make it look presentable and be British and everyone will suck you off. But at the end of
Does
the
that go
day
for me too, Kumo? Is that doesn't go for me too? I'm a British
Yeah,
individual.
yeah, I
But
think the same thing kind of goes for you. I feel like Samuel, I feel like I would talk to you the same even if you were like stuck at 300 subs.
well, my thing is that I don't think subscribers or views define a person,
Exactly.
right? It's more
Exactly.
about the personality, right? It's like I think
Uh-huh.
that I've got some friends that I speak to, people that aren't like massive like commentators or whatever, who that they've got 20, 30 subs, right? They're
Yeah.
just people, right? And that doesn't
I
define
was
them,
just saying I would hold you in
right?
the same regard even if you
Mhm.
had
No,
like
no,
300
100%.
subs. And I'm saying like
I
Toastify is just like he masquerades as a large content creator and he has more numbers. He has like higher numbers. He's pulling in more numbers than like all the people he surrounds himself with. In actuality, Samuel, do you think 50K is a big YouTuber?
no, only small commentary, not in general, no.
Yeah, so
Uh,
like Toastify knows that. Toastify knows how like in the grand scheme of things, he doesn't actually hold any significance. So he surrounds himself with small commentators who have significantly less than him so he can feel like he's significant. Um
yeah. Well, I guess the thing on that, right, is look,
and I think for
uh,
you, your case is just you're friends with a ton of small commentators.
yeah, I just some of them are nice, some of them aren't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just is what it is, right? It's for me, it's more that they're just people I've been like talking to, connected with, people that watch my streams, whatever. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think, look, props to Toastify, right? Like 50,000, great.
Sure, man.
That's
Good
what I'm
for
saying,
him.
right? Like 50,000, that's great, right?
Yeah, no,
Like
go play ball
it's
with
a nice
other people
number.
around your size, bud. That's all I have
And
to say about it.
the only thing that I would say about that is 50,000 isn't in the grand scheme of things massive, right? It's a great number to be at, right? 50,000 subscribers. It's promising. It's nice, right?
Okay.
If you're at that,
Okay.
it's great, right? You feel good
Yeah.
because you feel
I
like you're
wouldn't
doing
feel
great.
satisfied at that. Like
No, I
fifty
wouldn't feel
thousand,
satisfied.
you're not even making enough to buy like that. That's like if you're 50,000 and you're monetized, that's not like that's not money to be like excited about. You know, it's just like oh, it's nice
Yeah,
and oh, I appreciate it. No, you know, my hobby's actually getting somewhere. But
yeah.
it's nothing
It's
to
like
like trip. It's nothing to have an ego trip about. And I feel like
yeah.
Toastify just has so pretentious about it.
It's an achievement, but I wouldn't go around flexing it. That's I think that's the
Yeah.
view on it, right? Is that it's an achievement to be able to hold that. And I
Yeah.
look myself, right? I don't have any animosity to Toast. There's been no situation where I've needed to have any animosity, right? My conversations with Toastify have been nothing but positive, right? Purely because well, we don't fucking talk a lot, right?
Oh,
Um,
we don't talk a lot, and I hardly ever
and
fucking talk
yeah,
about him, but he feels like he's so inclined to talk about me all the time.
I guess you just had you made that one tweet, I guess.
I
Which was
think
good,
that was
man.
it. I think it was that one fucking tweet, and he's like been a heat-seeking missile ever since.
Hmm.
There's
Well,
that one
just
comeback I
yeah,
made.
yeah. That one come back on Twitter, man. And just moving on from like that whole thing as a situation, I would
Hmm.
like to maybe move on to like a miniature topic.
Hmm.
You made a couple of videos on the individual of Kita, or Kitamushi.
Hmm.
And for maybe people that don't know what that is, there is not many people that is watching the podcast right now that won't know who Kita is or what went
Hmm.
on down there. But what were your videos on Kitamushi about?
So the first one was because I found out he was sexually harassing ASMR actresses, and he was getting really giddy with them, and in their DMs, presenting his like fetishes and his like desires or whatever.
Hmm.
He was presenting his fetishes as like content recommendations, like content ideas, and then he was
Yeah.
bitching about apparently not getting credit for the most repetitive generic ideas that the chick probably could have thought of herself with just the style of content she made.
Hmm.
Um, and I think there was like she was crediting him for a lot of them, and then I think there was like a couple of them he apparently didn't get credit for, and he alleges that he gave her the idea. Um, so this chick is like a voice actress, right? Like an amateur voice actress. She runs like an ASMR channel on the side, but she does like voice acting for the most part.
Yeah.
And Kita, small commentary Spurg at the time, starts like threatening to make an exposed video and to get her canceled, and she's like she has no idea what this commentary shit is, and so obviously she's freaked out, and she's like, do I need to like take legal action? Like what do I do? You know, like any normal person who isn't engaged in this side of the internet, you know how they would react, right?
Hmm.
Um, and so Kita comes to me with this, and I'm like, oh, okay. And they're immediately trying to give me a narrative. And I'm like, well, no, I'll listen to your side, but you're going to get me in contact with them, and I'm going to get the other side, and then I'm going to
Yeah.
investigate the facts. And then I ask Kita to show me what DMs they feel comfortable showing me, and then I go and ask the Lovesick, that was her name. I ask her to show me what DMs she was comfortable with showing me. And Kita deliberately sent me screenshots with cut context, whilst Lovesick was very transparent.
hmm
And so it ended up being revealed to me that Kita was practically like harassing and borderline sexually harassing this voice actress, and um, their communities were alleging that like other people were having like other voice actresses were having problems because there was like this like entire niche of voice actors and voice actresses that like their communities were intertwined and shit, and they collabed every now and then. They did streams together. Um, is immediately being like alleged and brought up to me that apparently this isn't the only issue with Kita like in this like sphere. And so I go and I look into that and I research all this shit, and I'm like, Kita, I'm not gonna fucking expose you, but I am gonna hold you accountable. And I think yeah, so I was like, yeah, I'm gonna hold you accountable. And so I explained the entire thing, and I'm like, you've been caught in 4K. You were borderline sexually harassing her. You were making threats to this chick who knows absolutely fuck all about internet drama and commentary. And then you went and played the victim when she like, out of retaliation and fear, she said she was gonna try and take legal action for you like threatening to cancel her. She didn't
Yeah.
know anything about this shit. And so I like just kind of like held him accountable for that shit. I was like really small at the time. He was really small at the time. I think we were the same size, like 100 subs.
hmm
Maybe I was like 200. I think it was 100 though. Kita apologized. And I let Kita make their apology at the end of my video, actually, just so they didn't have to embarrass themselves on their own channel. Because the whole point wasn't to like embarrass Kita. It was just to like say, hey, Kita fucked up. I'm really sorry to this person. I went and got the full side of the story. That's about it. And I think what really kicked it off and really made me like dislike Kita was in their apology, they fucking plugged their channel. That really upset me for some reason.
I feel like that's Keto through and through, right? Like Keemushi, right? It's like he's known for a lot of awful things, right? Probably the most recent thing is like targeting people's sponsors and trying to then get them fired from their actual work. Nice
Oh
job,
my
Rome.
god.
That's Sir Rome as well. Sir Rome and Gene
Oh
Logic,
my
by the way,
god.
which got taken to dock on the radio, which is pretty funny. Um,
Oh my god.
but that is Keto through and through, right? Doing that, doing something, apologizing, leaving, coming back with an
Yeah.
explanation, and it goes round and round, right? Most recently, when they got accused of doing that whole this Joe stuff,
Hmm.
or one of the most recent things, and like the ASMR stuff, they made their apology for then falsely accusing Dingo. Then they went on their merry way, came back because of the ASMR stuff with a massive thing, saying they had their like hard drives
They're
checked
still doubling
for
down.
furry stuff. And yeah, and it is weird because I do want to bring this up. They made a tweet about your video in particular on the 20th of September.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, they sent me this, which I was just like, what the fuck?
Oh
Um,
boy.
where they speak, they put, I think it's about time we went after Kumo, considering he doxed my face from Nomis's DMs, not a public server, to his 830 subscribers, whilst inadvertently calling me to be doxed. Further, as my face was placed next to now false allegations from a predator and serial liar Nomas. I want the video taken down and an apology. Not that I will get any considering Kumo's history. So if the community has any principles left, then this needs to be brought up as it was one of the main reasons I quit content creation.
Wait, wait, wait.
Would you have to say
Run
about
that by
that?
me with like bullet points, because main point of contention is that was from the fucking public server. It was from
hmm
Nomis's fucking chats. I can show my fucking chat logs with Nomis. There was never that fucking clip of Kita with the and by the way, calling it doxing is a stretch because it's an AI filter, the gender bend filter from Snapchat. So
hmm
it's not even Kita's like actual face. It's like contorted and fucking edit like it's like altered by a filter. Because Kita
Well,
looks like a fucking fat cue ball
well,
with like no
apparently
hair.
There was a photo of Kita that was initially sent to Nomas. I have access to
Yeah, I
these
have a clip of
messages.
them. I have a
Yeah.
Snapchat clip of them with the gender bend filter on. And
Their
that
claim
was
is
I
that
got that from the
Nomas.
chat. Nomis
Hmm.
no, Nomis went in the chat and replied to it, so that I
Yeah.
could go find it and download it because it was
Yeah.
posted in the chat.
Like the whole thing is that Nomas sent their face to you and then you publicized it.
No, that's full of
Which
shit.
was the whole cope for a while. Um,
Oh my
but
god.
I guess the numbers and key stuff is I don't think. But I just thought it'd be interesting
Bag of
to bring up.
worms.
Yeah, it has a whole different bottle of sauce, right? Like complete different situation, right?
Nomis was like
Noma.
so fucking like homophobic, yet this nigga the entire time was trying to fuck dudes. That was wild. That's
Yep.
trying to fuck dudes and being homophobic is crazy.
It's ironic, got a great choice
Yeah.
in people he wants to date. But again, that's another situation, I guess. It's a great way to move on. Is known as something that for you,
Mhm.
like happened really recently, right? About what, a month ago now, maybe more than August,
It was a
right?
month ago.
Up in August.
Month ago. Yeah.
You dropped your video about a month ago now.
Hmm.
With Nomas, what were your issues with Nomas? Because I don't think that anyone needs to
For
hear
my
about
last
all
video.
the other stuff. Just in general, because I feel like everyone knows about the whole Nomas stuff with Starlo, right? I don't think anyone wants to hear about that for another couple of hours. It's not hours, couple of minutes,
Oh,
sorry. I'm not going to keep you here like Nomas.
okay.
Um, but what was your issues with like Nomas and stuff?
I mean, the main point of contention, I kind of explained it in like the boundaries video. It was just like really invasive, really creepy, really like weird and unhinged. Like just like genuinely, that's just not how you like interact with human beings. Like speculating and discussing not my sex life but my sexuality. It's one thing you say
Yeah,
I don't get pussy. It's another thing when you tell me what I like. When you're telling people what I like and you're trying to give them this illusion that they have some fucking chance with me. I think that's just really like unhinged. Trying to convince some random
yeah.
fucking guy that's subscribed to my YouTube channel that I literally I don't even fucking I can't stand him because he's already trying to call me pet names and I tell him to fuck off all the time. Um, Someone in the comments was trying to say I was leading him on. I was like, nigga, you need to die in a hole. Um, but like, I think that was like one of my main things is that he was just really invasive and really weird about it. How I could no matter how hard I tried to set boundaries with him, he would always like cross them by miles and blame his autism. Um, yeah, fool me once, fool me twice, pumpkin spice. Um, Other than that, it was just his chronic MCS, um, main character syndrome. I mean, uh, he had to make everything about himself. He had to be like the star of everything. You make a joke, he has to add on to that joke and make it his own. He has to talk and drone on and on and on and not let anyone like finish or not let anyone um not let anyone else participate. He constantly fucking lies about shit. Bro like gave me some fucking headcanon about Dark Souls before I even got to beat the game. And the entire time he was sitting here lying to me about the entire plot of the fucking Dark Souls franchise. Meanwhile, I'm like playing through it and I'm like, this nigga lied to me. Um, but he is just that was like probably the most petty, but I think that was like the funniest thing that I've like caught him lying about. He's just a very I don't want to say he's like a pathological liar because I'm not like an armchair psychologist, but he lies a lot. Um,
That's
he's
Nomas's
very
thing, right? He's a liar.
yeah, he's a massive
But
fucking
yeah,
liar.
his age, you know.
Oh,
Uh,
let's not get started on that. Um, I think one of my big points of contention with Nomis is just how much of a fucking main character he has to fucking be. In the Kita drama, I think you were even there. I literally advised everyone against, specifically Joe and Nomis was who I emphasized, but everyone was in the call. I said, don't do this. Don't do that. I explained why. For
mhm.
some reason, Nomis needed me to explain why he shouldn't fucking jump the gun and accuse fucking Dingo despite me pointing out everything else that contradicted it. Um, on the I literally sat down. I was like, no, 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 don't fucking accuse Dingo. Let's get to the bottom of this before you start pointing fingers. He's like, no, man, I pulled his IP. I'm like, secretly pressing X to doubt. So I already knew it wasn't Dingo. I already knew that it was Domino. Everything pointed at Domino, and I even went out of my way, and I won't disclose how. I went out of my way to find other ways to confirm that it was Domino. The whole IP thing, by the way, was a sham. I was just fucking with him. Like, I don't know if you noticed in that, like, towards the end of that Kita video, he's like, "What's my IP?" I didn't know his IP. I didn't check the IPs of the accounts. Nomis said that, and he just presumed that I was gonna run with that fucking narrative. I think that's always been like Domino's big gotcha with me. It's like, "What's my IP? What's my IP?" I'm like, I don't need to know your IP to know it's you, dude. Even then, I thought the whole thing was silly because it's not like anyone was trying to like cancel Domino. It's not like Domino has a fucking platform and he needs to worry about, or that he has it's any sweat off of his back that he got like called out for it. And in hindsight, the fucking image he sent to Bear Studios and Nomis wasn't actually CPA. If you look up fucking naked women on Google, it's like one of the first results. I was like, I feel like I could reverse image search this. And then I think it was like the term that came up was like just naked women.
Naked women.
I think it was literally just naked women when I like reverse image searched it. So I'm pretty sure if you look up naked women and you scroll down, you'll find this like ebony teen with her tits out taking a mirror selfie. That felt so racist to say because I'm black. I've never called someone ebony. That just feels racist. But anyway, point I'm making, it was just like Nomis was like, he just had to be the fucking main character all the time. He had to be like the ringleader constantly. It was like there was no chill with him.
Yeah, that was the issue, right? Is that like, so sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, my bad. I'm
But
taking too long. My bad.
no, it's fine, man. It's fine. Um, I guess that a great example of that, right, is someone leaves a call, right? I would often like fucking whenever I turned up, right? I started turning up so infrequently. I got called the guy that was just there to break news. Um, but anytime I did join after like 20, 30 minutes, I'd end up leaving with Fabio, right? To go and call him. And Nomus would get incredibly jealous or would start spamming people, tagging people to get back in the call and get annoyed and get angry and stuff. Because he
Oh my
very
God.
much liked to be in control.
I mean, we used to do that as a joke. Remember? I think you were in it. You remember when we were like, "Thug Chat takes what Thug Chat wants."
Yeah.
We used to do that as a joke, and then I think he like thought it was like okay.
And just getting like close to the end of the podcast,
Hmm.
I do want to ask like one final question, which is
Yeah,
like I heard a lot about you moving away and quitting and stopping like
yeah,
commentary and like leaving the current channel at least. What's going on with that? What's your plans moving forward?
yeah.
Are you quitting?
It's
What's all that?
well for in the meantime, I'm planning on making it's kind of like a victory lap really, but I have a bunch of big projects like I guess you could say hit pieces.
Yeah.
About predator poachers, I'm remaking my Hopeless Peaches video. I think you recall how big that video was.
Hmm.
Um, I have a video on Toastify that I'm gonna make, just kind of highlighting all of Toastify's L's and how obsessive and like annoying he is.
Yeah.
Um, and there's another video. Fuck. Um, I had
It's good
another
if you
one.
don't
I forgot
remember.
what it was. Yeah, but
Yeah.
just a small handful of big projects, and other than that, I'm just doing weekend streams. You can typically catch me, hopefully every Saturday, if you
Hmm.
guys have the free time. I would always appreciate the support. We just have a good time. Today I tried something new. I was drawing on stream. Everyone seemed to enjoy that a lot.
Yeah. For
Um,
5 hours or whatever it was. Before
Hey
doing the episode,
man,
I checked in.
if we're just having a fucking good time, who cares how long it takes?
Yeah.
It's one
Fuck it,
thing if
man.
I'm doing a 5 hour, 6 hour drama stream. That's
Yeah. I
ridiculous.
don't
But
know how you
like
can. Yeah. Fuck that.
Twitch streamers do like fucking what is it like 10 hours a day
I
streaming?
don't get that, man. I stream on Twitch for like maybe like 2 to 4 hours, maybe. I can't do
Man,
longer than that. Trust me, it's fucking insane.
when you're just having fun and the time is flying by, you're playing video games, laughing at the funny shit that you're. I mean, I don't know if you get funny shit in your chat, but I get a lot of
Yeah,
funny shit in
yeah,
my chat.
yeah.
I surprisingly for like my size, and I appreciate this from the bottom of my heart. My streams are never dead. Like there might be a
Yeah,
small amount of people
yeah,
in them, but they're always active.
yeah.
Always multiple people in the chat. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I get that, man. Same sort of thing for me on Twitch, right? Twitch isn't my main platform. It's got like 74 followers or whatever, and there's always people in chat talking, having a laugh, whatever. There's
Yeah,
always stuff going on, right? I end up even playing a lot of the time, like playing like games with people in the chat and stuff.
I
And
can't do all that.
yeah, fuck
They'd be
that.
wilding.
But just adding on to that, is there like a time frame you've got when you think you're gonna like have left and stuff, or are you just waiting to see like how long it
I
takes to
would
make
give
these
it like
videos?
I would give it like I would give it like the very I think a good the goal, the wish is like by the time we hit like January 2024, I should be pretty much done and I should be doing my my video explaining well, I feel like I don't even need to make a video talking about me leaving. I feel like I've just made it clear. Um I think my final video should be out by the beginning of 2024, and after that, you might end up cutting this out. I mean, it's up to you whether you think it should be left in or not. But the plan is, I'm just gonna be switching. I'm gonna be going on a fresh channel. I'm not gonna be trying to drag over all my commentary viewers over to it. It's gonna be kind of a fresh start. Or I'm gonna just enjoy making content I can genuinely be passionate about and test my skills as a creator instead of putting out this commentary slop. Um,
And will it be like far removed from commentary content, like so there's no like
I mean,
connection
I'm
or
still gonna be talking. I mean, I don't know what you mean by a connection to all of it. I mean, I'm still gonna have like my server. It's not gonna be open to commentary people to join, of course, but my server will still be active.
Mhm.
I'll still have like some of my like commentary friends that I'll talk to, just because they were like genuine friends, and some of us are
Yeah.
gonna be meeting up eventually.
Hmm.
It's like something we have going on. But no, I think it's going to be pretty removed from commentary. Other than the fact that it's going to have commentary in the videos, it's not really going to be a part of the community thing. I'm not
Yeah.
going to be like a reviewer. I'm not going to be like a reviewer. I'm not going to be like a video essay channel that uh, goes over like my opinions on video games precisely. But I do want to do like summaries. Like, have you ever heard of Maxor?
No, I can't say that, man.
You should check him out. He made some amazing videos. My
Hmm.
favorite ones are like his incorrect summary of like Elden Ring.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm moving in a direction where I just kind of talk about things I enjoy and think maybe if there's things I don't enjoy, rather than just bitching about them, I'll make it into like a fun experience to like kind of have a laugh at the negative things rather than just like surrounding myself with constant negativity and getting in drama and
Hmm.
engaging in fucking back and forths with spurgs that
Yeah.
don't want to take their L's, you know?
So at the least, like you'll be far removed, or like I've left like small commentary, right? Like in that sense, right? Like you're still
I
talking to
mean,
people in your server
yeah.
and stuff, with like the people that you
Yeah.
want to talk
Yeah,
to and
pretty
stuff,
much.
but
Pretty much.
just that's close.
There won't be any activity from me in terms of like interacting with small commentary. Like
Oh,
no, I won't be on Twitter. You
yeah,
guys
yeah,
can't reach me on Twitter. I won't be making community tab posts. I won't be making videos. I won't be replying or responding to comments in any capacity. My channel's basically gonna be like just a relic. It's just gonna be there, and unless it gets taken down, it's just gonna be there. Um, even
yeah.
if like I feel like even if people find it and they're like, "Oh my god, why didn't we ever watch this guy sooner?" Even if like I magically one of my videos in my backlog just pops off, I'm still not coming back, you know? Um
Hmm.
I've just had enough of it, you know, when you're in a community of people where if it doesn't matter how much you're like transparent, it doesn't matter how many facts you put on the table, how sound your logic is. Um, they would they would rather they would rather like feign the moral high ground and feign confidence, and then behind the scenes they would rather like silence you and abuse the algorithm, and they'd rather gang up on you and blackball you and you like throw their weight around as like larger
Yeah.
creators or like slightly
Hmm.
larger creators. Um, when you're like in an atmosphere like that and people are actively trying to stop you from getting anywhere on the platform in general, then like there's really no point in continuing. It's not like I'm being scared into it. It's not like, oh, I'm giving up because I didn't get anywhere. It's more like I'm I feel like giving up is the wrong term because I'm doing a victory lap. I'm in a sense, and retiring sounds corny, but I'm just kind of leaving because it's just unnecessary. I've always recognized how unhealthy it is.
Yeah.
For the longest time, I'm like, dude, I can't wait for this shit to be over. I can't wait until this person takes their L and everything dies down, and then I can just move on. Because I feel like there's one thing when you just can't take your L's, and then there's another thing when you just concede too easily. When your L is blatantly handed to you, like with like logic and facts, like
Hmm.
blatantly, like just out of pure transparency. I don't ever put anything out like I don't like jumping the gun. I try to be as transparent as possible when I cover anything. Um, and I feel like when I can put everything on the table and present everything in a like I'll have my biases, but I'll present everything without my editorials, and I won't like interject my narrative or my bias into it. Um, and that isn't enough. And I'm still getting the brunt of the shit
Yeah.
because people just can't accept when they're wrong. I feel like there's just no point in arguing with like it's impossible to argue with stupid, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So what's the point in arguing? That's really all it is.
No, no, I get that, man. And I guess like as a response to that, I feel like there's gonna be a mixture of people that are like not like happy, sad, neither, whatever, right? Uh, do you leave in? And I guess it comes down to the fact if you don't enjoy it and like you said, you're just waiting for someone to take a fucking L and then you can leave, right? There is real no fucking point of
Yeah.
doing the stuff you do, right? Like there's just no point, right? If you feel like
Hmm.
that, it probably is best to move to a different like content stuff, do whatever, right? But that isn't
Hmm.
involved small commentary and stuff like that. But no, I get that, and on that note, I really do appreciate you coming on Trash Talk for about an hour, just talking about some topics that are maybe more hard hitting than content and other stuff.
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, I feel like
mhm.
if you would have done this interview like say like maybe like 5 months ago when we probably initially like when you initially made the tweet that you were gonna have me on, I
Yeah,
feel like
yeah.
this would have shook out way differently.
Well, I guess stuff happens for a reason, right?
Yeah.
I feel like there was a lot to talk about here, a lot to discuss. Where probably 5 months ago there wasn't maybe as near as much stuff to go into depth, right? Talk about. There's
Hmm.
still loads of stuff we would probably have spoken about at the time. But now I guess there's a lot of stuff that we've spoken about, what we've got to, and just I think as well for a lot of people that maybe haven't watched other things, like Revolving You, there's a lot of maybe questions that they got answers to during the stream or fucking stream. Why did I say stream? Sorry, live.
Stream.
I said live. Fuck, my God, this trash talk episode.
Recording. Yeah.
Yeah, this recording that one. There's probably a lot of questions that people have got answers to, even if it's from you leaving. Maybe it's like that's some people that haven't seen that, maybe to
Hmm.
like your controversies and stuff. There's probably questions that have been answered in this video.
I would hope that I didn't leave any real confusion in the air. I try to be as forefront and transparent
Hmm.
about everything as possible. I'm not.
Yeah,
I don't like dishonesty, and by extension of that, I do my best not to be
Nomas.
dishonest. Yeah, I do. I still do a little
Yeah,
trolling, but yeah,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
really all.
But no, I do appreciate you coming on, and for everybody watching this episode of Trash Talk, I do really appreciate you watching a really long one where we don't usually do like hour-long ones. But I do appreciate you
Yeah.
coming on, Kubo, and I appreciate everyone watching. But I've been your host Samuel, and I will catch you in the next episode of Trash Talk.